Woo! All right, Euphorians.
I need a hero.
Da-da-da.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
I don't know any of the words.
Lyrics, I don't know the song.
Nate Jacobs is a loser.
He's a rap bastard. Yeah, I'm canceled.
Ethan is a
obviously.
hero.
Yeah, Ethan is a hero.
All right,
Like we
let's.
said last week, we stan a short king.
We stand a short king. I don't think he's that short though. Like honestly, he's not. On stage, he looks tall as fuck.
No, we looked it up. He's like 5'7", I think.
Austin
Not
Abrams,
to
yeah.
like.
Not to shame.
I don't want to be down on him.
No, he's a hero.
In any way, but he is a.
He's a
I think
hero.
he qualifies as a short king.
He's a medium height hero.
Okay, he's an average height.
No,
king.
we need to pop some champagne and pour one out for Lexi Howard, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
okay, go. Oh fuck, that was
There it
loud.
is.
Woo! All right. Listen to that
Yeah, at the
pour.
theater.
Listen
Drinking,
to that champagne
Lexi's
pour.
Red curtain razors. Tonight.
Yeah, on our Instagram, we posted a new cocktail we made tonight in honor of Lexi's play.
We finally upped our game and sourced some cooks.
We realized it's really fucking stupid that we never made like cocktail recipes per episode. We're so dumb for not doing themed cocktails.
All
We
we're
have
good at
to.
is drinking, so.
Well, thank God season 3 is renewed because we can do that. We can do it then.
I'm hesitant to even say we're good at drinking because our recipes may be hit or miss.
Good
but
at
it's
drinking.
more,
We're great at drinking. You mean good
well,
at making drinks?
Yes, okay. So we're great at drinking. We're also good at making drinks. We're just on a budget, so our drink recipes maybe
Yeah, a little rough.
of moderate quality, but it's not because of a lack of taste, just resources.
No, and anything with cooks is great. But let's cheers to the play,
Yeah,
to our
cheers.
life,
To our life.
to our life by Lexi Howard. Also, honestly, like cheers to Maud Apatow. She
was
fucking
fantastic.
killed that episode. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely just, like, blew me away. Like, I knew she could act already, obviously, like, but, wow, she just, like, really did such a good job.
Yeah, fantastic.
So cute.
That's another super, super solid episode. Like,
She's so heartwarming to watch on screen, too. Like, you're just rooting for
very
her so
likable.
hard in this episode.
yeah, I like her a lot. She's very, very likable. This was a real like Revenge of the Nerds episode for her.
Yeah.
Well, for everyone.
And did you feel like you're in her high school, like, student? Were you, like, feeling yourself, Alex? Were
I
you,
fucking
like...
wished my high school was like this.
No, but I mean, like, were you feeling like when she was talking about high school and stuff, and like one day I'm gonna be like the best, and like everyone else is gonna suck? Were you feeling your inner high school moments?
I never like necessarily like felt like I wanted that, but I did like relate to her in like other ways as being like, you know, just always like on the like periphery.
Yeah. No, you're not really like that, but I was like thinking of you because even if you're not actually like manifesting that or saying that out loud, I could see you being like, God, I'm so over this. Like one day I'm just gonna be so much cooler than all these other people.
Yeah, and high school was a lot of like just sitting on the edge, like watching everyone and like hating them, and in my head like dreaming of like what she does, like just
Dreaming of a better
just
future.
lampooning everyone like aggressively.
And look at you now, living in New York City with a fat tabby cat named Meatball, with a podcast about HBO's Euphoria. Look at you go, Alex. Look at
Yep.
you go. You're just like the little Lexi Howard.
living the dream.
Alex Howard.
Oh my god. Speaking of Meatball, we received a review recently where someone recommended that I be replaced or that we be joined by a third co-host. And I can say this much. I mean, Paige and I are engaged, so I'm not going fucking anywhere. However, we've really taken that suggestion to heart, and we're going to be welcoming Meatball on as an official third co-host.
Meatball!
You know, he's pretty quiet, but every once in a while he'll chime in.
He's sitting on the bed with us while we record, and Meatball, he'll chime in if he has any thoughts.
Yeah, so now there are officially 3 hosts of That's How You
And
Feel
also,
Right.
fuck that person that wrote that review. How dare.
Yeah, and also
How
fuck
dare
you.
you try and remove Alex, the only other host. If you are removed, it's just me. Like...
Well, I think they wanted me replaced with someone else.
Oh, well, fuck that. With who? Like, honestly, fuck off. Well, you know what? I feel like this episode's gonna be especially long. Maybe I'm wrong, but there is just so much fucking shit to unpack. Like, not like unpack, but just so many great things about this episode. And overall, season 2 has just absolutely blown season 1 out of the water. Like, it's like it's like a completely different
Hands down.
show. Don't you agree? Like, the
Yeah.
quality is just out the
I
fucking
mean,
roof.
I adore season 2.
This
and
is
I was
better.
like, season 1 for me is like a 6. Like, it's interesting, and it was interesting to discuss and like dissect in a podcast format, but I never like really like loved it or even liked it that much. Season 2, I'm like hooked on. Like, this is like an amazing show that I'd be watching no matter what, and be
Yeah.
like, a huge fan of.
Also, I feel like,
It's fantastic.
and I really mean this, I feel like Euphoria is more eligible for an Oscar than most of the movies nominated for Oscars
Dude,
this
the
year.
Oscar noms this year fucking suck.
They
But
really do.
They've sucked
So
for many years, so it's not a surprise.
I
But yes,
really think
agree.
Euphoria has I mean, actually, I'll say I think they have it in the bag. I feel like they are going to win like every Emmy. Like, how could they not?
What fucking show is better?
Like, literally nothing.
I mean, this is a good time for TV. There's a lot of good shows, but I don't think anything has been better this year than Euphoria.
No. So Emmys, here we come.
Yeah.
Well, the theater and its double. Alex, does this title have any meaning?
Yes.
Or is it just literally like the play? I mean, I saw a lot of doubles.
No,
I wasn't
so
like that drunk. Like, there were a lot of doubles.
based on yeah,
I wasn't that tipsy.
I don't think it's that surface level. So based on my incredibly detailed Wikipedia research, it's the name of a collection of essays by a French poet named Antonin Artaud.
Wow, Alex. Great
I
pronunciation.
just absolutely butchered that pronunciation.
Oh, well. You did your best.
Antonin Artaud. Anyways, he wrote a collection of essays about the theater, and the general conceit of his work was that people need to think of the theater as a holistic, sensual experience, and need to appreciate the primacy of the experience and everything surrounding it, as opposed to more of a formal, like, theatrical form.
Interesting.
So he was, about the totality of the experience over following the established norms of the theater, I guess.
Got it. Which Lexi absolutely embodied.
According to Wikipedia, he was about the urgency of expression over the complacency on the part of the audience.
So in other words, he was all for Ethan jizzing all over the crowd.
He attacked what he believed to be an elitism of the irrelevant, outdated, literary/theatrical canon.
Did you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, you didn't comment. You just kept reading, and I'm like, hello, did you hear? I
well,
just said,
agree.
wouldn't he be Team
Perfect.
Ethan?
Yes, exactly. A great example.
A big dick and balls on stage? Like, it sounds like this guy would have been about it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think that was what it was. This was this play was a great
Out-of-body
example.
experience.
I'm sure old Antonin would have loved this play.
What's his name? Antonio?
Antonin.
Oh.
Antonin.
Okay, Antonin.
Yeah, he probably would have loved this shit.
Wow. The theater and its double. I mean, it also has to be about, like, all the doubles, though, right? There were so many, like, I was getting confused. Like,
I don't think it's actually a reference to.
Okay. I wasn't
double
actually getting
characters,
confused.
but I guess that's an additional, like, reference, I suppose. Yeah, like, I guess
has to be.
It works on that level as well. Like, yeah, I mean, it's an episode of Doppelgangers.
Yeah, which is great. I like, too, how after when you watch the behind the scenes little clip, on HBO, how they were talking about the cast was, like, super stoked to watch, like, their doppelgangers.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute, because that would be really weird.
Yep.
You see, like, someone dressed exactly like you from season 1, like, playing your part.
Yeah. Hey, and as we predicted, Ethan is portraying Nate.
I know,
amongst
and
many
everyone
other
else,
people.
and everyone in the play.
As well as, like, Suze and a photographer and
So many other people.
others. Yeah, he was amazing.
I love the beginning of the episode, how they did the little, like, overture.
The overture, so classy. Love that.
It was really pretty.
It was nice.
But yeah, overall, just like, wow, Lexi was typing away. She was missing, like, parties and, like, she wasn't really hanging at the birthday party. She missed out on that, but she was writing this play, and boy, did her hard work pay off.
It certainly did.
And, like,
this was a smash hit.
Were you laughing at that tweet I showed you earlier where it was like, Euphoria would really be lying about the arts and their budget, like, which is accurate because this play was, like, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, this was a hell of a production.
It was so good. Ugh.
But I think that that's kind of like one of the things that's made this season great is that, I mean, that was always present in season one that they would kind of like go off on these like fantastical tangents. But
Yeah.
season two's like really leaned into that hardcore. And I think it's really worked in their favor. It's just given them so much opportunity to play with like the style and structure of everything.
Yep.
And it just feels like it's like constantly like, it's just like so fun to watch because it's constantly like evolving and
Maturing in a way, but like,
changing and
yeah.
shifting. Like no episode is like any other episode.
No, it's so well done. Like the lighting, just everything. Every shot is like a piece of art. It's crazy. Like the whole time I was watching this episode, I was thinking like, God, to have like the mind of like Marcel and Sam and to plan all these shots. I mean,
Yeah, I think they did especially well in this episode with the way they were constantly shifting between the play,
yeah,
reality, and like memories, and doing like those seamless shifts. It was
so
done
hard
so
to
like
do.
imaginatively,
Yeah.
in such like fun, interesting ways, and it just like flowed very well. It never was like clunky or like weird.
No, never abrupt. It all like flowed so well. And there were times where literally like when I was joking earlier, like obviously I wasn't seeing double, but like it was done so well in that like 1 minute it's, Cassie, the next minute it's Cassie's doppelganger, but you don't even know because it just like flows so well. But this whole
Yep.
episode was just beautiful. I really liked seeing like the moms in the funeral scene where like they're at the house. Like I thought that was interesting because like there's just so many different layers of euphoria that you like forget about. Even like
Mm-hmm.
something as small as like Leslie and Sue's being in the same exact position, like single moms, unexpectedly. It was just like little moments like that. That's where like the euphoria nerd in me, like my heart just like, oh, like I just love it because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Well,
love all the
real,
connections.
I think the real like euphoria nerd moments here, a lot came between like the Lexi and Rue relationship,
Yes.
because you get a look at like this middle period where they're still like best friends and are still like hanging out and very close, before like they've kind of
Drifted
grown
apart
more
a bit.
distant. But it's after the death of Rue's father when she's like getting into drugs and stuff. And that was an interesting look into like that period of their relationship that we really haven't seen before.
Never seen. Like in season one, you're almost like, how are these two even best friends?
Right,
Like,
like how are they ever best friends?
yeah. Like you're
You
almost
kind
like,
of
I
think
get
of it
it.
like more like they must have just been like best friends when
Childhood.
they were like kids, and so it was interesting to see them a little older.
Yeah, and I love the funeral scene when she is in her bedroom reading her that poem. I just thought that scene was so sweet, like so like pure for Euphoria, like just a little moment of like wholesomeness. Like,
But also like very like dark and realistic that it ends with Lexi being like, I realized I would never be able to comfort her as much as drugs, and just being
yeah,
able to like recognize that and
foreshadow
accept
that.
that at a young age is like crazy. But like sometimes you just know that stuff. You're just like, damn, like
Yeah, like I'm not gonna help out here.
yeah.
But also shows how mature Lexi was from such a young age, and like we've always said, like such an observer, but also like so far ahead of all the other characters in the show, just in terms of like not only maturity, but I liked how in this episode we really get to see like her side of the story, like what she was experiencing while all these other characters were kind of like living their high school life. Lexi
Mm-hmm.
was really going through some tough shit, and you don't get to see that in season one at all. Like, if anything, you kind of don't even think about her. I mean, you and I were, because we're like nerds for Lexi, like, we love Maud, but just
Yeah.
generally, she's very much like a background character in season one, I would say.
Yeah, and I think one of the best like things about this episode, kind of on that same page, is that it challenges everything you already thought you knew about Cassie. I mean, she turned into a real villain this season, but last season we never really viewed her that way. And not to say that she's a villain in light of this episode, but every like she's completely recontextualized based
Yes.
on this as someone that was completely like oblivious to what was going on around her, someone that like was unaware of what her sister was going through and like kind of uncaring.
Yeah. Which is
So it
hard. The only
offers a
thing
lot
that's
of
hard
like
about that, though, is I will say, like, having sisters myself, I do feel like, though, this is very common with older sister versus younger sister, which is, in all fairness, Cassie looks up to Lexi, whether or not she shows it. It's clear that she's always had in her head that Lexi has it together. She's
but
fine.
Lexi's the older sister.
Cassie's older?
Cassie's older, yeah.
Are you
Cassie's the
sure?
younger sister. Yeah, they
Stop.
said it in this episode. Cassie hits puberty first, and Lexi's like, I was counting the
Oh
days. It
my
was like
god.
430 days until like I was there. Like,
Oh wow.
Cassie's the younger sister.
Okay, I'm having a total like moment. God,
I
everyone's
think we
gonna make
did
fun
this.
of me now.
We
Everyone's gonna
definitely.
slam me. We went
You
through
know
this
what?
in season
You know
one.
what's funny is we did this once in
Yes.
season one. We
Yes.
said it, and I was like, no, I
I
think
know.
Lexi's like the younger sister.
But in all fairness, the reason I think that is because Lexi's so fucking on top of her shit that I assume
no, it's understandable.
she takes quite like figuratively, she takes the older sister role.
She gives off the eldest sibling vibe. 100%.
Not just because of her maturity, just their relationship is very much how I see me and my sisters. Like, I'm the oldest of both my sisters, and what I was gonna say is a lot of times your younger siblings, without realizing it, can become selfish because they think that you just have it all together, everything's fine. But I guess that's not this scenario because, like you said, I was wrong. I got their ages off, even though we just watched a
The
play about
dynamic's
it.
the same though. The one is more put together, and the
Yeah.
other one's a little sloppy.
Yeah, so she doesn't really, like, dig too deep into her sister's life because she just thinks she's got it all together. Little does Cassie know, like, Lexi's been going through it just the same, if anything. Like, same if not more.
Yeah. And she doesn't have the privilege of acting like everything's okay and having everyone dote on her and, like having like this like rosy worldview.
And she jokes, right? Like, the whole sitcom-y parts of this are, like, her joking about physical appearance. Like, Cassie always had it all. Like, she hit puberty. She's got, like, the quote-unquote knockers. Like, she's got all the guys going after her.
Quote-unquote
Well, on the
knockers.
play, yeah, they laugh about it. But, like, you know what I mean. Like, she had it all going on, and Lexi, like, bloomed later in life. Lexi had her braces and was kind of just, like, kicking it, getting mustaches drawn on her by Rue and Fezco.
That was pretty funny. We got to see the inspiration for the Bob Ross costume.
We do. I loved that. That was so, like, creative
That's
and
pretty
cute.
funny that it comes from that moment.
I
when
know, I
Lexi
really
first
love
smoked weed
that.
and passed out.
Full
It's
circle.
also so funny that like Fez was like in her life before this. Like
I know.
you kind of like get the impression they just like really like met at the party. You didn't really like
understand that.
Yeah, you didn't really like grasp that they had like known each other like a little bit before.
I think they all have, I think that's what the season is kind of showing us, is that they all like have kind of intertwined at some point and have had side relationships. Season 1 just didn't like have to showcase all that, which is fine. Like, that's just life. But I also loved, I'm kind of like skipping ahead, but I did love when they showed Lexi and Rue, like when they were trying weed or Lexi was trying weed the first time. I think a lot of people, not you and I particularly, but a lot of my friends can like relate to this, where weed is just not for everybody. Like, some people just like, it's such a vibe, it's peaceful, it can be an escape, it can be a high, like quite literally a high. For others, it's like paranoia, anxiety, like it's just not a good vibe.
You just need to try a different strain, bro.
Is that what people say?
That's like the classic joke. Is
Really?
Like, any stoner that hears that someone doesn't like weed is always like, no, bro, you just need to try like a different strain. Like, you were just smoking like the wrong stuff. Like, you should just try indica instead of sativa.
It's like, no, some people just don't vibe on it, and that's fine. Like, it's not for everybody. And
Yeah,
also,
right.
I also think if I were to argue my side of weed, my side is that sometimes you just have to be in another place in your life. Meaning, like, if you have a lot of anxiety, it might not be the time for weed, or it might be the perfect time for it. It really just depends.
Yeah. Or maybe, like, I mean, sometimes you just need to have, like, an appetite for exploration and, like, trying things multiple times and, like, playing with, like, your environmental factors to see if it, like, works. But, like, yeah, of course, it just might not be for everybody and, like, whatever.
I just liked that they, like, put a highlight on that, though,
Right.
because I think a lot of times the ideas around weed are, like, everyone should like it. It's, like, this vibey thing. So I thought it was interesting that
Which is why she probably wasn't smoking with Fez in the last episode.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. So the Stand By Me scene, I thought she was getting high, but she probably was not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she just
No,
really
she
loves
talked
Stand
about
By
how
Me.
she really didn't like
And
it.
I think it feels Stand By Me probably feels very personal to her in light of the play.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, they open it with the same line from Stand By Me about how, like...
Oh, they did? I didn't catch that.
The episode... Early in the episode, they say, like, the classic line, which is, like, when you're, like... 11 or whatever, like you think your best friends are gonna be like your friends for like your entire life or whatever,
Got
something
it.
like that. Like they're the best friends you'll ever have, whatever. I forget the exact
Yeah,
line,
it's okay.
but like that's the famous line
Alex,
from
seriously,
that.
can you do your homework and know the lines of every part of Euphoria,
God,
please?
I know. I really am so ill prepared.
I love when Cassie comes down as an angel in that like circle thing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's so funny. Lexi did such a good job on this play. Like it just so perfectly portrays every character and their flaws.
Right.
And
That's a big reason why I liked season 2, because season 2 is very much like the suffering and like lampooning of the characters that are more like glamorized or idolized in season 1.
yes, agreed. But also, can we just like take a moment too to just love Miss Howard's reactions to everything in this play?
Yeah, I think the reactions of the different characters are very interesting.
They are. But Miss Howard should have had wine in a bag at the show. That would have
She
made
should
it.
have. Yeah, that would have been true to character.
It
But
really would have.
yeah, I love that she's like hype on it. I also really liked I think it speaks a lot to Rue and Lexi's friendship that Rue immediately gets it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole play opens with like the death of her father and like a very like personal, intimate moment, and she's never like put off the whole time. Rue's very like into it, and like she smiles through like the whole
wait,
thing.
the third co-host has something to say about that.
What are your thoughts on this?
Meatball, what are you saying about Rue?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yes, tell me more.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
The
cool,
co-host
that's all.
has exited.
He only chimes in briefly, but there's a big impact.
He said, "I love Rue." Okay.
No, he didn't.
Anyways.
Don't make him sound like a dummy. He's far smarter than that.
Well, anyways, yes, I agree with you. I thought it was super sweet and like so wholesome that Rue just the whole time had like a little smile on her face. Like it was very heartfelt. Like I think if anything, it was showing that once again their friendship that we didn't know about. Meaning, I think deep down she was like rooting for Lexi. Like, in other words, maybe a part of her too. I don't know if you were thinking this. I was like, I bet, sometimes you have that friendship in your life that you just like adore and love, but you kind of take it for granted. Like you don't really like see it for what it is. And then sometimes it takes a moment. Something happens in your life where you're like, fuck, this person's like so important to me. Like I need to be better about showing it. I feel like that's what Rue is feeling. I've gone through that myself where like nothing's ever like gone wrong with you and a friend, but you just might have that moment where you're like, fuck, I need to be better. Like this is like someone that like is my ride or die, like would be there for me through anything. And like Lexi's kind of showing that on stage.
Yeah, I think it also just like kind of speaks to the fact that like Rue like really gets her. Like Rue understands where she's coming from, and like Lexi was so worried about everyone like misinterpreting her intentions throughout all of this. And I think Rue immediately like grasps her intentions and that they're not bad, and like Rue is totally cool with it, whereas everyone else is like wondering. And like also I think Rue like really doesn't have much of an ego, obviously, given what she's been through, so she's not really worried about how she comes off on stage as well, which probably helps.
Well, also they even talk about it when they're on the roof of the gas station, which is a super cute like little memory. But Rue says like, my dad taught me like, I forget the exact quote, so I'm gonna butcher it, but where she was like, my dad said,
he says I'd never want to be part of a club that would accept me as a member. Yeah,
because then I wouldn't be like cool. So I feel like that's also like Rue's vibe while watching the play. Like she doesn't give a fuck that it's like personal and stuff. Like
right.
But yeah, so love that. I also kind of love the little like Rue and Jules exchanges. I thought those were kind of sweet too, because they weren't like angry or anything, but it was kind of like Rue was definitely looking at Jules to get like, hey, you seeing this? Do you feel bad for me?
Well, I
kind of not feel bad for me. More like, oh, like come on, like. Cut me some slack, like, I don't know.
I kind of thought about it more like a lot of, like, what was being said on stage between Lexi and Rue. Rue was feeling in real life, in the moment, towards Jules. Like, there was a lot of talk about, like, them being, like, best friends and having these intense, like, lifelong friend relationships. And Rue was looking at Jules during a lot of that. So I think a lot of, like, what in the past applied to Lexi and Rue, maybe as they're growing older, is now applying more to Rue and Jules, potentially.
Oh, interesting.
And that they were kind of, like... It seemed like most of the times when they showed that, it was because there was some mention of, like, some kind of, like, deep friendship. And they were, like, I felt like they were, like... taking what was being on stage and applying it to themselves in that moment.
Okay, be honest. What were your thoughts on the scene, though, where Rue talks about Jules in the bathroom and is like, I don't know, I used to think, like, she was my one and only, we were, like, this forever deal, and now, like, I'm not thinking that anymore. That really, like, stabbed me in the heart, because I thought during the play, I thought Rue's reaction to the play was kind of in relation to how she was feeling about Jules, like you were just saying. But in the bathroom, she was kind of like, I don't know anymore. That makes me so sad.
I don't know. I think it's like too early to say because realistically, Jules didn't really do anything. Rue is just clearly still feeling bitter about the intervention because she even called it like the bullshit intervention and stuff. So she's obviously in a place where she's very like bitter about the intervention still. So I think it makes sense that she's like talking about Jules in that way, but I don't think that that's like true. Like Jules didn't actually like betray her or do anything like so fucked up. So I don't know that those feelings are gonna like really like hold over or are like serious or deep. I think it's more like in the moment.
Well, let's talk about the cutest part, which is also Fez and Lexi with their little cute phone exchange.
Lexi's amazing like roller skate lamp.
Her what?
I'm obsessed with it. She has that amazing lamp with that roller skate. It's so cool.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. No, I was going to say the cuteness of the phone conversations between her and Fez. That's so, like...
Yes, very cute.
So intimate and sweet and, like, innocent, but I like how also Maude in the, like, after the show recap was, like, Fez and I have, like, a really chill relationship outside of this. So it was... Or Angus and I do.
Yeah,
so it was really easy to
Tom
film.
Brown shows together, looking fly as hell.
I know, they're so great. But I just liked that they have such good chemistry, and she's right. She's like, even in real life, we're like so different, but we're also so much the same. So it's like the same in Euphoria.
Yeah, it was really cute. I mean, she's just really using like, she's really using Fez as like a sounding board for her like classic like artistic concerns. Like every artist has the like questions about are they good enough, like how will people react, like is this gonna piss people off, am I being true to myself, like, you know, all the classic questions. And Fez is kind of acting as her like sounding board as she like worries about all these things and like figures out the final form that her play is gonna take and what to include and not include. And
but also he's like, can you repeat that question again?
I know. Hilarious.
He's like, hi. He's like, sorry, can you say that again? But he's so sweet.
But that's good because it like causes her, it like forces her to like really like reconsider what the actual question is and what she's like truly concerned about in those moments and like make the tough decisions about what she's gonna do with her project.
For sure. I just absolutely died when Fez was getting ready for the play, which of course we're all like super scared because we have no idea what's to come. But
adorable.
I literally like squealed.
His shirt for him.
I squealed when he said, "Dude, what did he say? He's like, I think I look handsome," or like he said something. He was so cute.
She said that he looked handsome, and he was like, "Do you think other people will think I look handsome?"
Oh yes, you're right. Oh my god, I literally like squealed. It made me so like overjoyed, but like so.
Yeah, very cute. I really, really hope that Faye does the right thing and comes out on the right end of this because they've taken such good care of her, and she clearly feels bad about the whole thing.
She does because she's grown close with them. They're Netflix and chilling like every day.
I feel bad that I don't know. I'm worried though because she had her chance in the room with Fez to tell him, and she didn't do it. So I'm like, ooh.
My prediction is she won't save them, but she won't like out them either. I think she's gonna play the classic like middleman, like pretend like she's kind of just, you know, not pretend, but just be aloof and be like, fuck, you know, I'm just kind of in the middle of this.
Maybe she'll flip on Custer.
Maybe she'll be the hero.
I don't know.
She posted a post today that said, "I put the hero in heroine." I feel like maybe she's the hero in season finale.
Okay.
It was like a fashion post, but I was like, oh, okay. I was thinking, that's why I thought this episode they might reveal that she, like, saves them. Because I was like, why would she say that? You know?
I don't know. We'll see.
I know. I also definitely want to point out the scene with Lexi and Cassie and their dad. I feel like that was so perfectly done. Like, props to Sam for writing that part in because... like we said earlier, it's so like crazy that in season 1, that scene's so innocent. You watch that and you think they had a great day of ice cream with their dad. and then everything goes awry like a week later. But really, it was already so fucked. But we only got Cassie's perspective, which was super innocent and like, daddy's everything. Like,
yeah, totally.
just sad daddy issues.
Which makes sense because she's like on display in this episode are like the full like extent of her daddy issues with Nate, where she's literally like, control my life, tell me what to eat, tell me how to speak. Like,
I know.
It's so cringy.
It's
and
cringy,
pathetic.
but it's also
it's sad, but
it's sad. I was gonna say I still have a ton of empathy for Cassie. Like, I will make that very clear. I will say it on the stand right now before fucking listeners come for my throat. I don't hate. I'm still here for Cassie. Like, I'm still rooting for her. But when I say I'm rooting for her, it doesn't mean I condone what she's doing. She's a piece of shit right now. She's doing, like, so much harm to so many people around her. Not just Maddie. Like, literally everyone in this episode has, like, been dissed by Cassie in some shape or form. So I'm not here for her, but I do absolutely, like, empathize with her situation. It's very clear why she's where she is right now. Could not be more obvious. And it is sad, and it's gonna take, I thought in this episode, though, oh, the play's really gonna, like, wake her up, but she's not woke. She is looking like a real clown.
There were some...
She was acting like the Joker in the mirror when she was, like, smiling and then, like, crying. I was like, which, by the way, amazing acting. Like, so well done, but also, like, she just continually loses her goddamn mind.
There were a few, like, horror movie moments throughout this episode, that being one of them. Nate, like, looking at himself in the mirror, but it's like the back, it's like he's like staring at his own back.
Yeah,
like,
that was creepy.
Super creepy. And then also
very David Lynchy to me too, like, some parts of it.
That was all like horror shit. And then also like Cassie at the end, like, that was total horror shit.
Where
like,
she was like breathing through the window. Yeah,
or
the door
like,
window.
Yeah, I mean, we thought Maddie was gonna kill her. I think Cassie's gonna kill fucking everyone. She's about to go, like, school shooter on everyone.
She really is, like, she's fully lost it. And like I said, I thought the play, if anything, would kind of, I don't know, it makes me sad, though, because she got up and left, right? So it shows that she does have a heart. It's just really buried.
It shows that she's pissed. It doesn't necessarily mean she feels bad about it.
Yeah, but I think she went into the bathroom crying. But then the manic kicked in. It's like it's like deep down. It's so far down though now. She's so lost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she's like pure evil like Nate or anything.
No,
but she's pretty off
no, but she's far past the point of like being resurrected this season. Like, we just have to accept that Cassie's not, like, she's not gonna have this big comeback this season. She's not even gonna come close. If anything, she's gonna be like the person that we hate the most.
She's obviously gonna blow shit up in the next episode.
Well, especially when Maddie's once again being the knocking extremist on the door again. I was thinking that whole time, wow, we still are gaining nothing from Cassie in terms of, like, remorse. Like, we're getting nothing.
No.
She could have taken that moment, because Maddie said some things that were really...
deep look at their friendship.
It's also, we're really, like I said, Maddie is evolving, and, like, so much, because even in that moment, Maddie took the mature route. She was like, this is not about Nate. This is about our fucking friendship. Like, I would have never done this to you.
Yeah.
I also like that they like once again showed that Maddie also is a character that's gone through a lot. Meaning, like, they're like, she had to live at Cassie's house for a month because her parents were fighting and had, like, a horrible fallout. Remember they showed in season 1 her dad's just like a deadbeat.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of history there. So this isn't just like, oh, your homie at school. This is someone that, like, lived with you, like, was like a sister to you, like, really, like, relied on you as family. And you did this. So this isn't just, like, some petty bullshit. This is fuckery at its finest.
Oh, yeah. Cassie's, like, just bad.
She's making Maddie look like Jesus Christ himself.
I know. We've discussed it at length, but it just continues to get worse the more we see.
I thought the scene was so beautiful, too, of Cassie and her dad dancing. Just all four of them as a family dancing. It makes you sad because, once again, you feel
dancing
empathy.
With Ethan.
Yeah.
Another role.
And then it flashes to Lexi and Ethan, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that was great.
But I liked it because, yet again, we just kind of see, like, how broken a lot of these characters are due to, like, their family situations. And even Miss Howard in the audience, like, sobbing. Like, it's just sad.
Yeah, of course. I also I really liked the scene with Lexi on a totally different note. I liked the scene with Lexi talking about how evil big tech is. After having worked in tech for like almost 10 years, I'm like, yes, accurate. Like,
Same. We both are working tech.
yeah, I've avoided the major villains, but yeah, they're she was spot on. That's all I'll say.
Once again, more mature than everyone else, sees the bigger picture. Even though she's the younger sister, now I know.
Yeah, we're not too far off from Killer Robots.
Yeah, and I will just say it. I don't care who comes for my throat for this. I mean, Cassie's wardrobe and hair and everything in this episode, it's just like, girl, you are not pulling off the Maddie look even a little bit. Like, Maddie really does, like, own that type of look. Like, she does.
Right.
But for Cassie, it's a no. It's a no for me, dog. Right. It's not working.
Right,
it's just not working.
I agree. Most of the time on Maddie, it's, like, not my taste, but, like, it's not, like... It's not generally, like, heinous. Every once in a while, I think she looks Las Vegas, but, like...
But it fits her personality and her confidence.
Cassie just looks like hot garbage. Like...
Also, she gets... when Nate's putting on that necklace, you even said out loud during the episode, we were laughing. We're like, so she's just gonna wear Maddie's Tiffany necklace?
Yep.
She just doesn't care. She's like,
Nate
whatever.
Doesn't care. Like, this whole time, like, I've been saying Nate doesn't care about her, and, like, sure enough, at the end of this episode, he's just like, move out. Like...
Okay, so you know what was horror for me? Of all scenes, can you guess what my most horrific scene was? No? I was gonna see if you could guess it. So for me, pure horror was this really well done scene where Nate is making out with Cassie, who then turns into Jules in the mirror, and that's creepy. Like, that look Jules has on her face, like, it's really, like, she doesn't look stoked. Like, she looks scared.
Yeah, well, it's, like, the recreation of the cow.
I know. But I'm saying that scene was really, like, I have so many thoughts. I feel like we'll get more into that later because we have a Change Our Mind that was submitted that kind of goes along with that scene. So I'm going to hold, but I'm just going to put it out there. That for me was what you were describing when you say like horror, David Lynch vibes. Like, that was really well done. Like, Jules in the mirror was creepy. I was like, ew, I hate this. Like, him ripping her tights and like all that. That was like really well done.
Yeah. Yep.
So other than that scene being absolutely horrific, I hate the flashes all throughout the episode of Fesco's chair at the show being empty. It just makes me like...
Heartbreak.
I can't. Like, I don't want to see the season finale because I'm so fucking scared.
Yeah, right. Especially because we know from the previews of the next episode
the cops
things do
definitely
not
come.
Go well.
The cops come. They show like a fucking SWAT team entering the building.
And I'm sure it's not just somebody getting arrested. Like... There's probably somebody's gonna get shot. So the question is, who's getting shot, and are they dying or not? I think that's where we're at. If no one gets shot, I'll be shocked.
Well, that kind of leads us into like the whole Fesco ashtray situation. And
I mean, there's not too much to say about this. Custer's a bitch ass. Ashtray is like, as always watching. I have to say, like, huge props to the actor that plays Ashtray, because he really brings like the menace. Like, to be a little kid who can intimidate like grown men is like very,
admirable.
I mean, that's tough, and he like absolutely brings it. Like, he is like intimidating. Like,
he's also like a fighter in real life though. Like, in his real life, have you seen that on social media?
Yeah.
It's cute. So maybe he brings some of that like mean face, like fighting.
If I had to sit across the fucking table from Homeboy and he was interrogating me, like, I would be scared. Like, he is like an intimidating dude. Like, so he does a really good job. He's fucking menacing as hell. Like,
agreed. He's intimidating, and we were joking that he looks like he's wearing a juicy tracksuit though.
Oh yeah,
he's always wearing those little tracksuits, like the sweats,
like the Click, you know, juicy tracksuit. No punch facts. But yeah. He's he does a really good job. I mean, he's a killer. He fucking killed Mouse. Like, he killed a man. He killed he killed the scariest character in all of season 1. Scarier than Nate and Cal. Mouse was so scary, and this little boy like killed him.
I know, and beat the fuck out of Cal. Like, he's a baller.
Shit, like.
But also, can we talk about? So I'm trying to understand. So Custer, he threw something in the planter. What was that? Just a recording device?
Custer's
a wire?
working with the cops.
I know, but was that like a wire or what the fuck was it?
I didn't see that, but I believe you. He probably
No, he
just
did.
threw a mic
He
in there.
it looked like a little like USB, and he like
Right.
threw it.
It's probably a mic. I'm sure it's a mic. He threw a mic in there.
Well,
He
he
put
threw
his
it because
phone
then
on the
Faye
table.
looked at it and thought about
Yeah.
taking it out or doing something, and she didn't.
Yeah,
And then that's
right.
why
That's why I'm like, yeah, I agree.
But then I was mad because then Ashtray gets up and has his knife out, and I was thinking, thank God he saw that he dropped something there, and he didn't. He walked right by it, and I was like, damn it.
No, he didn't see it. And you know, he puts his phone on the table, really deliberate, which is probably like recording or doing something. He's obviously like setting them up with the fucking feds. So. Yeah,
Oh, I'm heartbroken when Fesco's like
Custer.
has the roses.
Custer's a real bitch, you know. They took good care of his girl for months. Like they
I
really set her
know.
up. They've been smoking her out, watching movies, and giving her sandwiches and cokes and stuff. Like
fuck him.
Fuck him for betraying them.
He's dead to
Fucking
me.
Rat.
Absolutely dead to me.
Stupid ass name, Custer.
But yeah, I'm terrified for the
Western
season finale.
character.
I also didn't think that we were gonna be left hanging this whole to be continued. I thought the season finale was gonna be like plays over, like let's move on.
Yeah, same.
So I'm kind of like, holy shit, we don't even know what's
They're
to come.
giving us a real two-parter here.
I know, which is good. I like that because it's kind of like literally similar to the theme. They're like keeping on with like theater. It's like intermission. Then we've gotta fucking wait. Except for we have to wait a fucking week. This isn't
we
like
have a week-long
This isn't like grab your popcorn
What the
and some
hell?
cooks. It's like we actually have to wait a fucking week. It's gonna
What the
suck.
hell?
So what else? What's next? I mean, I know I'm going back and forth, but that's this whole episode is back and forth. But I forgot to mention, this is so random, but I really, really loved Lexi being like hot and wearing that little dress and doing that, walking along that revolving, like, and being like, hey boys, hey.
Yeah,
like,
everyone's like, ooh, shit.
Yeah, like, okay, Lexi, like, let's go.
And that one guy's like, man, I really wish I fucked Lexi Howard in high school.
I thought that part was really cute.
Yeah,
I also
funny.
liked that they showed Lexi behind the stage being super aggro and finally having a voice, being like theater was her way of like speaking her mind, being like, no, fuck you, like do what I say, like the lights better be perfect or I'm replacing you. Like she really just was like,
she's a professional. She's a boss ass bitch.
Hashtag
she's running a whole
girl
fucking,
boss.
Look, she's running a whole play. And, you know, if you're not like that with a high school play, it's gonna turn out like shit. You know, you gotta be on these people. They've got fucking Steven or whatever up in the sound booth, like blling it with the lights.
That
like,
was really funny though. She's like, we're gonna replace you.
Yeah, fucking.
He's like, with who? And she's like, with anyone.
I know, I love that.
Savage scene between Leslie and Rue. Not like I mean in a good way. Meaning I think she's giving her what she needs to as a mother, which is a little bit of tough love. Like
even aside from like whatever she's giving to Rue, I think this is her stepping up and like basically being like, I'm not gonna be a bad mom. Like it's so like it's depressing, but she's at the place in her life where she really has to like, you know, take stock of things and view things in the most like objective, like harsh, like pragmatic way, which is like, I have two daughters, I can lose both of them or I can lose one of them. Like she's really at that place, like she's like military shit. It's like we have to like cut the losses, we have to like lose some men to like save like more men. Like
yeah, and also
she's gotta fucking lose Rue to save Gia, otherwise she loses them both. And it's like it's just a flat out like hardcore business decision that you have to make, and it fucking sucks. But
it's tragic, but it's also like the minute she was like, Rue, you know what, you can do whatever drugs you want, there is a light in Rue's eyes. Like even though I know she's kind of like, she knows her mom's just playing her a bit,
yeah, of course.
but there definitely is a little light, like I can like she's not, like we said last episode, maybe I'm wrong,
loves doing drugs.
I know, but I'm saying maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. But I think this will continue into season 3. She is not anywhere close to wanting to be clean.
No. Although I think this might help. I think this is a better tactic than she's been doing, because I feel like Rue's never really been like fully cut loose. She's always kind of had to push against something to do these drugs. And I think that that's kind of like invigorated her. Yes. Obviously she really loves doing the drugs, and I don't think it's like gonna fix everything. But just having the freedom to completely like do drugs and be like fully destitute really might wake her up to the reality of what that looks like when no one is like giving a shit and
Well, it's
bringing
kind
you
of like the
back to,
rebellious teen act, like,
right,
you know.
like, what's your life like when no one brings you home and gives you like a bed and you're like really on the streets? Like, you're really, if you are living that life, like, you're really gonna be sleeping on the streets. So like, she's never really had that because there's always someone that brings her home and gives her like food and love and, you know, comfort.
Also, so petty and so off topic, but what the fuck is Leslie eating out of that little tin can? It looks like oatmeal or beans. Like, when she's talking to her, were you watching that? It looked like
no, I thought it was ice cream.
Mush.
No, it's ice cream.
It was out of like a tin can. It looked like a Campbell's soup can.
No,
she was
it's
eating
for
like
sure ice cream.
no.
100% she's eating ice cream.
All right, Euphorians, come at us. Let us know what was Rue's mom eating. Because to me, it looked like clam chowder in a can, and Alex thinks it's ice cream.
Nah, she eating ice cream for sure.
No way, that stuff looked nasty. It looked like tuna in a can.
Ew, no. I mean, not ew. Tuna in a can's delicious.
I also low-key loved the moment of Maddie, like them portraying Maddie and like Lexi and her kind of bonding for a minute. Not bonding, but like her kind of telling Maddie telling Lexi the cooks is kicking in. Maddie telling Lexi like how she goes about confidence, how it's like 90% like fake pretty much. Like
yeah, I mean she's not wrong. Again, like Maddie does bring the hood wisdom sometimes. Like she's not wrong. I mean, you really just like fake it till you make it is like it's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
I mean, it's bullshit that like there's not that people can't tell the difference. The smart people can tell the difference between fake confidence and real confidence, but most people can't, so, you know, you'll get pretty fucking far.
But I liked how she described Maddie. I just thought that was cute. 'Cause she wasn't, like, harsh about it. Like we said, like, I think I thought going into this that she was just gonna, like, drop the hammer on everyone and go, like, so hard. I feel like Lexi did this in such a tactful way that was, like, in ways harsh, but not, like, conniving or mean. It was very, like, honest.
Yeah, it was just honest.
Yeah,
she's
like,
just being a real artist. She's just showing things how they
were.
Like, all, you know, warts and all, the ugly side and the good side of everyone. And, you know, some people, Cassie and Nate, can't fucking handle, like, being faced with, like, the reality of who they are, whereas I think people like Maddie can see a portrayal like this and see, like, the truth in it, and I don't think she's gonna be like furious at Lexi after this because, like, you know, she doesn't come off looking amazing, but it's a pretty honest portrayal, and she doesn't come off looking horrible either.
Do you think Sydney Sweeney's wearing a wig, or do you think that's her real hair?
Hair.
I know it's so irrelevant, but oh my god, her hair is so straight and like scary looking.
Yeah, I think real hair.
You think so?
It's so flat. I feel like it'd be hard for that to be
It's like glued to like her face. Flat. It's so flat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken over the Cassie and Maddie situation because I do feel like...
Are you heartbroken, Paige? Are you losing sleep over it?
I actually am. I love their friendship.
I'm just shitting on you, but...
No, I know. I mean, you can shit on me all you want. Alex, you're being such a douche.
Yeah, that's me.
You're being so condescending right now. Okay, I'm kidding. But in season 1, like, I don't know. I just love, like, the carnival, like, how they're like, bitch, you're my soulmate. Like, we're in this forever, like, kind of vibe. So, yeah, my heart breaks. It's sad. And I do feel, oh, man, can I tell you, I think a lot of girls have felt what Maddie feels on the other side of that door in this scene, which is, like, just pure betrayal. Like, if you ever go through this with anyone in a cheating situation, sometimes, like what she said, it's the truth. Sometimes it's not even about, like, the act. It's, like, the emotions behind it, like, the history. Like, it was really... It's tough, like, if you've been through anything like that, to watch that, because you're like, yeah, like, that's real. Like, I think I felt the most empathy toward Maddie I've ever felt in any season in this moment, because she's like, you know, I haven't had the best life. And, like, yeah, Nate was a fuck, but, like, I liked him. I made a mistake, but why the fuck did you have to go in and, like, steal the one thing, like, the one...
But even then, she's, like, it's not even like that. It's more like, he was so horrible and fucked up my life so much, and now you're fucking up my life with the person that fucked up my life already.
Yes,
so
like,
badly.
she's over Nate. She didn't bring up anything about it being about Nate.
Right.
But it just shows that she's matured, and I hope to God Maddie just moves on, like, fully. Like, it seems like she has.
But yeah, I agree.
But you get nervous, right? But I think after the gun situation, I think she's done.
No, I agree. In season 1, I liked Cassie far more, and I never really cared much for Maddie, and it's very flipped in this season. I'm pretty done with Cassie. And I think they've evolved Maddie's character in like a nice and believable way to be someone that's more interesting and complex than she was in season 1.
Agreed. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney for the Emmy doing this fucking like Joker scene in the bathroom. I can't get over how creepy it is.
Fucking crazy. So who else there was on the plate? We have Kat.
I mean,
Kat and Ethan.
You know what I'll say about Kat? I'm not gonna lie. So I know I don't like to, you know me. I don't love getting into all the outside gossip outside of Euphoria. I think a lot of it's just made up and like silly and for press.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I feel like Kat's character overall so boring. Not interested in her at all as a character. And if you think otherwise, chime in. I could not care less about her character this season. Not because of Barbie's performance, because of her like lack of even being in the season, A.
Yeah.
And B, like, just even her parts in the season though that she is in, I'm not like, I don't care. Like I'm not interested. Like she's just being kind of dickish. She's clearly like kind of trying to be Maddie's like BFF, and it's just.
Yeah, I think it's like.
I feel like they gave her so much depth. Season 1, I really related to her, like the self-confidence issues, the like overeating when you're like going through all this shit, like not loving yourself. I feel like they dropped that fully this season, and now she's just kind of like whatever. Like she just, to me, is so like background.
I think they gave her an anti like character arc where instead of like developing, she just regressed. She obviously didn't get as much screen time as she had in season 1 or as deep of plot lines. I don't find it like unrealistic or unbelievable, but I can
really.
understand.
I feel like they really focused on her so much in season 1 that I thought for sure there'd be a lot more this season, and so I can't help but like.
But this is a thing people do.
A tiny bit of me goes, maybe
like...
the rumors are true. Maybe she blew up with Sam, and then that it caused like okay, we need to like, you know, change this a bit, and then maybe they disagreed with one of the characters. I don't know. I'm just saying, I really mean this, and maybe I'm totally wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong. I get a vibe that she's not into this season. Like, even the behind the scenes when she's talking about it, she doesn't seem as excited as she was season 1. She's very like, oh, Kat was interesting to play this year.
Yeah, I mean,
and barely says anything, and I'm like, what?
No, I don't disagree. I don't think she seems into the season. She's obviously been like a little bit sidelined, and she gets like an anti-character arc. And for me, the question is like, what does all that like do to the story at large? I don't find it, like I said, I don't find it unrealistic. I'm not
that mad about it, but
I think she's in a place where. I find it like very believable that she got like involved in this weird fucking like put on the Party City cat mask like and you know dance for the diaper pay pigs online. She was always kind of cruel in season 1, like I mentioned.
Yeah, she was.
So I think like I don't find it unbelievable, but I can understand why it's frustrating from a fan's perspective to not get more out of her from this season than her going back to like those ways. After like getting what she thought she wanted.
Yes.
And I can understand why that's frustrating.
You know why it's frustrating though, and I don't mean to say this, but it's like what she said about in real life, about everyone always talking about her body, and like it's never about like her, you know, like her personality, what she brings to the table. It's like always commenting on these outside things. So I don't mean this in a bad way, but I feel like it is weird that like more of her story isn't like addressed in this season, because I felt like it was so strong season 1 and it was putting out a lot of good messages. Yeah. So I almost feel like they're like, well, that was boring, right? Like she doesn't like her body and she's like has all these problems with her weight. So let's silent that for a minute. Like it's not that entertaining, where a lot of girls like could really benefit from like getting a little more from like her story arc this season. That's just my little like pedestal speech on that.
I guess what I'll say is I think I don't have a problem with the storyline, but I agree that it could have been handled better. If this was the character, or if this is like the anti-character arc she's gonna have this season, it should have had more screen time and been more fully developed and fleshed out.
That's all I'm asking. Just a little more. I don't need like a full episode on Kat. Do you know what I mean? I just need a little more though.
Like it's a little jarring for how much screen time she got in season 1 to have that like sidelined as much. And I think that they could have easily worked in like a little bit more to make it like more believable. Even if this was the direction they wanted to take her character. It should have been more fully fleshed out.
I'm not out here with a torch picketing so mad about it. I'm just saying I understand it. We're like, McKay, we joke about it and we think it's funny, but I'm like, it makes sense that McKay's out. He's in college, move on. Right. But for Kat, it doesn't make sense because she was a big part in season 1 and she's still like very much involved in the friend group with Ethan. Like, So it just
Yeah.
feels a little off. So part of me is like, fuck, were the rumors true? Was something going on that we don't know about that's made this like a thing? I don't know.
I just think I agree. It should have been given more screen time. There should have been more. There should have been more.
Yeah.
I agree.
But that's all I have to say.
But,
I mean, I
yeah.
just feel like we've gotten like 3 scenes with Kat, and I'm like, that's it.
And all it really amounts to is like, wow, she missed out because Ethan's about to win a Tony. Like,
Yes, but not only that, even that, I was going to say, even that, when it comes to her character, why didn't we get any scenes of her reacting to Ethan's performance? Why didn't we get any close shots of her being like, fuck, or even just like excited or anything?
Well, I mean, at least the way that they've read her, she's so apathetic about Ethan. She doesn't really give a shit. She did him so dirty with the breakup.
That's true.
She doesn't care.
I guess.
He's
I don't
like
know.
nothing to her, which is sad. Like,
Okay,
but that is
but-
like the way they portray it, is that this season she's completely uninterested in it.
Not to continue this conversation on and on and on. I'll end it after this. But you just said she's apathetic, blah, blah, blah. But then in season 1, we see her at the prom, right? She treats him like shit, and then she feels horrible. She's like crying. They have that cute kiss. So that's what I mean by, but is she really apathetic? I feel like they really redeemed her. You were like, oh my God, cute. Like, she like really does love him, and she feels bad, and like, and I just felt like they did her dirty this season. Now it's like, oh, she just sucks, and she just has a brain disorder, and she's in 3 scenes, and she eats goldfish on her bed. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't really give her any kind of boost.
It's a flaw in the season. I agree. I
Yeah,
don't think
that's
there's
the
a
only
way
flaw.
around it.
I love the whole season, but I will say, like, I saw it. If the rumors are true that she like was mad, I'm there with her.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Well,
No beef.
so very minor, but Maddie gets a gift from her nanny woman, whatever, Minka Kelly. Does that mean she's done? This was just like a summer job. She's done.
Oh, I don't know. It's like I don't really care about this. They've done nothing with like this.
No, I think it was cute. I think it was just her like
yet.
ending the job. She was sad to tell the little boy. It wasn't about Nate. You got that from that, right? She was like, I don't want to tell him I'm scared. She was talking about I think she was talking about her son. Like, I don't want to tell him that I'm not working here anymore. Like,
Oh no,
he's gonna
she's
cry.
leaving town.
Oh, what?
They said Maddie was leaving like East Highland. Like she's going away. That's why she's telling her like I'm going away. Maddie's got like some plan.
Oh,
to, like,
wow.
leave
What do you
town.
think? Like a...
I mean, unless I
Oh, is
completely
she a senior?
misinterpreted.
Her and Cassie are seniors,
Unless
right?
I like wildly misinterpreted that scene, she was telling the lady like, "Hey, I'm like leaving the East Highland. Like I'm going away. Like I don't know where she's going or why. I don't want to assume she's going to college because I can't imagine she got into college. But like has some plan.
Hey, don't say that. Fake it till you make it. She could have gotten to some great college.
I don't know if you can fake the grades, but maybe I guess.
Yeah,
whatever.
I know. But yeah, I feel you. I just meant, I guess she quit her job because she was talking about saying goodbye to the little boy.
I assumed she was dipping because she's like, fuck Nate Jacobs. I'm done with all that. Like,
Yeah, where do you think
she has no family holding her there.
Yeah.
Her best friend just betrayed her. So I understood that scene as her being like, I have some plan to like dip. Like, I'm out of like this whole town.
And
I'm
her
going
and Cassie
somewhere
are
for some
seniors,
reason.
correct?
I think so.
Yeah, so that would make sense. Meaning, like, she has some plans.
Right. Yeah.
We don't know yet, but she has some
Right.
plans.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, should we just go
Wow.
into the amazing scene that is Austin Abrams, aka Ethan, just slaying this hero scene?
I mean, amazing. Like, obviously.
Iconic. Like, absolutely iconic.
Yeah,
and
it
to
was
see
great.
Nate squirm in his fucking chair. I'll
Oh,
cheers
yeah,
to
it was
that.
so
Cheers
great.
to Nate
Yeah, fuck
feeling like
him.
a fucking idiot.
Yeah, no, it was amazing.
Because it's the first time we ever see Nate embarrassed. We've seen a lot from Nate. We've never seen him embarrassed.
very rarely. He was embarrassed by Maddie at the chili cook-off.
Even then, he was in rage mode though.
Is
I think he was more.
Is he gonna kill Ethan?
He was more.
I'm like, I don't know if
angered.
Ethan considered the risks of doing this role. Like,
Oh, that's a good
I
point.
appreciate how bold he was in taking this on, but I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna die?
He's fucked.
Not actually. I think Nate won't do anything, but like.
No, but
I'd have to think twice about doing that role and being like, oh my god, is this guy gonna like fucking kill me?
I know. But I will say, like, you're right at the chili cook-off, but he wasn't embarrassed. He was enraged. He was like, he choked Maddie over it. He was angry.
right,
This is pure, like, pussy,
I
like,
wonder
behavior.
more about
He's
if
in his
he's
seat,
gonna-
like, like squirming and like afraid because everyone's laughing and pointing fingers at him. It's like, yeah, bitch, see what it feels like? You've been bullying everyone your whole fucking life, and now everyone's laughing at you. And I'm sorry, but that's just karma at its finest.
It is. I wonder more if he's gonna come for Lexi.
No
he
empathy.
Was obviously so pissed. He broke up with Cassie over. He's like, "That's your sister. Like, get the fuck out of my house."
Oh, good. I would love, you know what? I would actually honestly love a Lexi Nate face off. Lexi would own his ass.
Of course. I mean, he can't touch Lexi.
Unless he has a gun. I mean, that's scary.
She's too smart and too, like, normal.
She should show up in her Bob Ross outfit and be like, try and fuck with me.
So while we're on the topic of Nate, I mean, we were both planning to save this until change our minds, bitch. But I think this is too significant of a plot point to wait till then for. So I guess we should address this now, which is the Nate Jacobs dream sequence, mirror sequence situation.
Yep. Do you want me to read what our fan wrote in?
Yeah, so we had a fan write into us with a theory prior to this episode about this, which we will now read.
So, this fan said, Marsha made specific reference to Nate bringing her water in bed and then telling her he loved her and kissing her, but then stated that while he told Cal he loved him, he never showed him the physical affection by kissing him. I thought that she was hinting at a fear that maybe Cal had been sexually inappropriate towards Nate in his early childhood. Note Nate's extreme discomfort at this conversation, especially around this point. He doesn't look hurt about the conversation in and of itself, but the particular subject matter. So.
Yeah, I mean, at the time I read that, I thought, we really haven't had any hints prior to the last episode, I suppose, about any kind of sexual abuse between Cal and Nate. Obviously, there was a lot of other abuse, so I didn't really think of it that way. And I thought, what we know about Cal so far doesn't indicate anything of that nature. When he found out that Jules was underage, he was kind of upset about it. He wasn't, actively seeking out underage people at that time.
No.
So I didn't really see it that way. But obviously in this episode, that does seem to be the case because Nate's clearly having nightmares about being abused by Cal, which is it's pretty unambiguous. You don't throw that in there casually. It's
also there's more I didn't even realize. This fan also said, then I thought about a few other things. Nate's weird and unhealthy relationship with Cal. Marsha saying Cal didn't want Nate to get therapy. If he had abused him, then this makes sense. Nate's reenactment of putting his fingers in Jules' mouth like Cal has done to her in the motel room also could have been a reenactment of what Cal had done to him as a child. Mm-hmm. His obsessiveness with the tapes makes sense. So I'm just going to end it there because this fan goes on and on, which, by the way, thank you. The detailed responses are amazing. We really, appreciate the dedication. And, honestly, I will be so transparent. Alex and I read this. Did we not immediately dismiss this? We were like, that's, not true. We, appreciated the dedication, but we were like, we don't think this is it.
Yeah, like I said, I think all those things are easily explainable based on Cal's just, unsexual abuse of Nate, plus Nate finding, the tapes early on and having this sexual fixation on Cal. So I didn't, think too much about it, but it does, yeah, absolutely, they definitely got this right. I think the reference in this episode was completely unambiguous. I would say that it is essentially fact now that Nate was sexually abused by Cal.
You think it's fact? I feel like it could be a fever dream weird thing, or it could be fact. I'm kind of on both ends.
I really don't think you throw in something like that.
Unless it's insinuating something.
Yeah, unless it's this is your...
Agreed.
This is hey, here's your hint, at what's really going on. I can't imagine a reason why you would throw in that scene and have it not mean that. It would be wildly confusing.
I also think that I guess if I were to say, we've said all along, right, what is going to make us break and feel any sort of empathy for Nate? Because so far, Alex and I have felt none.
I still feel none.
Literally none.
Just kidding.
I know, but
Just kidding. I'm sure they'll drop some Nate episode next season that'll make our hearts break for Nate. But I
agree, but I'm saying, you and I have said multiple times, there's nothing that's going to break us. We hate Nate, he's evil. We've always just said he's inherently evil. But now, if this comes out as a real, if it's fact that Cal abused him, I mean, we can still have our thoughts. Meaning we're not gonna like love Nate and all of a sudden stand him by
No,
any
of course
means,
not.
but you're gonna have a different perspective and it's gonna be heavy
of
shit.
course, things develop, and I mean, it seems like they may be developing in that way, which would lead any regular
I hate that
person.
we were like, I was loving Cal's backstory. I was like here for it. So if that's the case, I'm gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but that seemed pretty unambiguous to me, which is, it just feels unfortunate because they made me kind of like Cal this season, and now I'm like, well, if that's really the case, like, fuck him, obviously.
I know.
It doesn't mean Nate's not evil, but obviously you feel like significantly more sympathetic towards him.
Of course.
If this is
it's
the
like
reason why he's evil.
Okay, but it's like any criminal. Meaning, literally, Nate is a criminal. He's held a gun to a girl's head. So I'm saying, like, it's like any criminal, right? You repeat crimes from your trauma.
Yeah,
that doesn't make you, like, a good person or mean that, like, we should now feel bad for you. But it does give you more insight. That's all it is.
Yeah, crazy.
So wow, good job, fan. Shout out for sending us that.
Absolutely.
You were on the right track, and it showed in this episode.
They read that 100% right. Respect.
Whew. So I think we just have to end on this epic scene that is Ethan, who deserves an absolute Tony Award, performing this fucking amazing routine.
Love it.
We've got the dick of the punching bag and the two
descending dick like a crucifix. A lot of bumping and grinding and
sexual tension,
spraying of water on.
I like the confetti for the jizz too. Like whenever like he's like when the balls come out, there's just like jizz that goes everywhere.
I mean this scene's hilarious.
And I like when Lexi's backstage, like literally like jacking off in the air, like yes when he's doing like the jizzing moment. It's like so good,
so fucking funny.
And it's also once again done in good taste, meaning like it's not like evil or mean or like necessarily bullying, but it is calling the bully out. It's like, fuck you, you've literally fucked with everyone in the school, so now guess what, we're gonna make fun of you. And I love when Ethan's like, what does he say? He's like, my pecs, like they're so big and strong right now.
He was like, can you oil up my back? Like I can't reach because my pecs are so big.
That was so good. And also like, shout out to Austin Abrams. Like I will say, like
amazing
underestimated
work.
I underestimated his acting. I will say, like I'm the first to say it. He's done a couple films outside of Euphoria where I've been like like kind of like Fault Under Our Stars type vibes. Like he does like a lot of Netflix.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, he was really good.
I mean, a minor role, but
he was good in that. I'm sorry. Yeah, but you know what I mean. He's in that Lily and what's that Christmas one that you hated? Lily and Dash or whatever. Oh, horrible. But I will say, like this like episode alone, I'm like, wow, Austin Abrams brought it. Like
he was
fantastic. Like.
And I love that for like not getting a ton of screen time in the previous episodes, he comes out so strong with this scene.
Yes.
Like amazing. Like I'm glad that he hasn't been like fully sidelined because this is great. Like we've always liked Ethan, and I'm glad that he's still around, like doing interesting things on the show.
I also like when Lexi went backstage and was like, "You ready?" And he was like, "Yes, and like went crazy because that's so like nerdy theater kid. Like I knew people in high school literally like that, like going on to put on a play in front of like 50 parents. It's like calm down. But it's also great.
Well,
like,
it makes sense for him because he's got to play some like roided out jock, you know.
Yeah, and it's also like, you know what? You know me. I've never hated on theater kids.
To play Nate Jacobs, you'd better be like fucking barking
amped up
like a dog, like some fucking psycho.
Absolutely,
like, you know?
But as someone who loves like High School Musical and all this shit that you don't like, it is like. I will always say, I always have a soft spot for theater kids because I feel like they are like the underdogs. They're like the Lexi Howards. Like they want to like
Revenge of the Nerds shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And they like put out their passion. They like let out all their like emotions on the stage. Like leave it on the stage. So I was very happy for Ethan.
Yeah, I mean,
we stan Ethan. What a king!
The thing about the whole scene is Nate walking out and calling it homophobic. That's such
he's like, Cassie, stop laughing. It's like, what do you say? Everyone's laughing. It's so homophobic.
That is such a funny one-liner coming from Nate. Like, I mean, first of all, it's a hilarious one-liner at all because what is like more like pro-gay than like a giant like
dick,
a giant like musical number to like I Need a Hero full of like oiled up bods and like dicks and stuff. Like this is like what.
Well, he said that though. Obviously, you realize he said that because that's something a jock would say. A closeted. We always say like not.
Of course.
We don't even know like. and honestly, Nate might not be gay, but that is like the comment of someone who would be closeted. Like,
It's just hilarious.
I knew guys
to
I
hear
thought
him,
that were
like,
jocks
walk out.
that now are gay and like open and cool about it. But in high school, they felt so insecure that they'd like make fun of it. I felt like that in that moment where he was just like, everyone was laughing like, that's so homophobic. It's like, Nate, you missed everything.
It's like this is what gay people love this shit. The stereotype is that gay people fucking love theater and like,
I know.
this stuff. Like
Not just theater, but like dancing, like you said, like oiled bodies like grinding and like having fun and like jizzing everywhere. Like this is
Right.
great. This is like a gay man's dream.
Yeah, right. It's not homophobic. Like
No.
the fucking like
This is like gay celebration
yeah,
on
right,
stage
exactly. Like,
at its finest.
yeah, it's just a, like. A
But they put that in
classic-
there because that's like a jock response to something
Of
like this. Like
course.
instead of addressing like, oh, I'm mad because this is about me, they have to put it on like something
He's
else.
trying to be like righteous
Yes.
and stuff. It's like, dude, you're just mad because your life
You're
is
literally-
so homoerotic. Like,
Yes.
football and your life and your locker room shit and all your like masculine shit
And
is all like
honestly-
insanely homoerotic.
And honestly, like Nate, like you're hot. So like if you're gay, like please come out. Cause like
He's obviously like his dad. He's like everything. He's like
I know,
pansexual. He
I
likes
know.
it
I
all.
shouldn't like joke about that. Like I'm not, but I'm also like kind of am because I'm like, if you're gay, like, fuck yeah, you're hot. Like you get so many dudes.
He's not that. I mean, he would get a lot of dudes, but he's not that hot.
Yeah, his personality sucks too. Oh, he's hot, but his personality.
Eh.
Nate Jacobs.
Eh.
He's just But I mean, he has good taste in women. Are you kidding me? Maddie and Cassie. Woo, fire.
What about Jules?
And are you kidding
the
me?
best
Jules
one.
is the top.
Jeez.
She's the top of the pyramid.
God.
Yeah. Wow. What an episode.
Well,
Epic.
there you
And then we
go.
end on Cassie heavily breathing through the door, fogging up the
Her
glass,
hot breath.
looking like
fogging
an
the glass,
absolute psychopath.
vengeance in her eyes,
Which is funny because
hatred in her heart.
it's so stupid. And I
She's about to
hope.
commit what is it called when you kill your sibling?
What?
Like it's like infanticide is like killing your child, like matricide is like killing your mom. What's it called when you kill your sibling?
When you kill your sibling, it's murder.
You know what I mean.
I
There's a
actually
word
don't.
specific for killing your whatever.
Think
never
about
mind.
it. Alex, ponder on that thought.
Well, she's about to kill her sibling.
I know. I was gonna say maybe next episode. Do you think we're gonna get a Lexi Cassie throwdown, or is it gonna be more Maddie Cassie type vibe? They did show a little sneak peek of like Cassie and Maddie going at it on stage.
Oh no, I think it's gonna be more. I think it's gonna be Lexi Cassie.
Oh really? They showed Maddie
I
and
think
Cassie
Cassie's about to
fighting
walk-
on stage
I think
though.
Cassie's,
Did you see
like-
that though in the sneak
Yeah,
peek?
I think Cassie's seconds away from walking on stage and confronting Lexi. I think that's like imminent. And if Maddie's involved, it's because she's trying to like protect Lexi, if anything.
Okay. Any other predictions? I feel like we have to say predictions because
Predictions.
it feels
I don't
so
know. Holy
crazy.
shit.
But oh my goodness, next week is the season finale. That's crazy. We've waited literally 2 years for this, and we're already here, and it just went by like in a snap, and I'm mind blown. Mind blown. I
Paige's
can't even
mind is
speak.
blown.
I'm so mind blown.
I'm so mind blown.
I hate myself. I literally hate myself.
Uh,
I sound like Cassie.
oh, God. Anyhow, predictions. I have none. Who the fuck knows? This whole season's been like anything goes.
I know.
Euphoria in general is kind of anything goes. Somebody's gonna get shot at Fez's house. I guess that's my.
It's gonna be
prediction.
Fezco.
I don't know what the hell else is gonna happen.
Or it's gonna be Ashtray, and like I said, I put out there that I think it's gonna be Ashtray, and then Fez will have to deal with like him dying.
I think it's if Fez gets shot, he lives. If Ashtray gets shot, he dies. That's how I
agreed.
think.
Agreed. Okay,
gonna go
I'll
down.
agree on that.
And either way, it's gonna suck and be sad.
And I guess according to you, Maddie's packing her bags and leaving, so maybe she won't even be in season 3. Maybe she's like, bye, bitches. I've got better places
yeah,
to
I
be.
really wondered that. I mean, obviously, like it's very common in shows that like right before the finale, a character is gonna dip, and then something happens and
Yeah.
they're drawn back in. But I don't know, maybe not. Maybe Maddie's like, I'm on to bigger, better things. Like, see you, bitches. Like, she kind of got like the maturity arc this season where she's like, this shit
Agreed.
is not for me.
Yeah.
My best friend betrayed me. This lady I look up to revealed that she's really not that great. Like, maybe it's time for her to like dip. Her boyfriend's a fucking psycho.
I will say too,
It wouldn't not make sense.
a lot of like fans have been really pissed that like Jules hasn't been as much of a huge character in all this. I would disagree. I think everything's been done so well and so naturally that if anything, I'm left in this season finale going, oh wow, I thought this whole season was going to be yet again like a Ruined Jewels centered show. I kind of like that it wasn't, and that like it really like explored everything. I think it almost would have been like what you said, predictable, meaning like every show, whenever there's a couple that like we all stan, they tend to just hone in on that and everyone else gets like pushed to the side.
Yeah.
I kind of liked that we explored everything. So I will say, moving into season 3, I kind of like that we're going into the finale not knowing really anything about Ruined Jewels. We don't know where they're at. We don't know where they're going. Meaning
Well,
we're not in a
thing-
place right now. We're not in like a strong place where I can even predict where they're going. I'm like, I don't
Right.
fucking know.
Well, one thing season 1 did very, very well was set up a lot of interesting characters, a big cast of super interesting characters, and they made you like they gave you enough depth on these characters to make you care about them. And then season 2 has said like, here's like what happens with some of these characters.
Yes.
And that leaves a lot of like interesting room for what happens in season 3 and beyond. So I don't have a problem with it because we have
either.
such like a deep background and they've kept like certain storylines going significantly enough. So even like stuff like the cat thing, it's like even though she got super sidelined this year, maybe season
season 3
she's,
they
like,
go
a huge
hard.
part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that is one thing that I will credit season 1 with doing very, very well, was introducing like a big cast of characters and really giving you enough to care about all of them.
A lot.
Which is hard to do.
Really hard. And I will say, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know if the finale will tell us where Ruined Jewels are at, but I think like what you just said about season 1, I think they also did a good job though of really convincing you that they have like a very deep connection and love that like really is just different. And
Yep.
I think I pray and hope that they will like be together forever because we all want that, right? Like I don't think anyone
Yeah.
I don't think there's one person in the world that doesn't want them together.
There are. There's people that hate it. There's people that hate Jules. There's people that hate Rue.
Well, okay, well they can fuck off because I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I love them.
Yep. All right. Well,
Whew. Other
that
predictions? The only other thing I'll say is I really, as far as like Rue and like her drug relationship and all this shit going down, I don't know if that'll come up at all because the season finale seems to be mostly about the play and stuff. I hope she goes down a path where she wants to become clean, but I don't think we're there yet. And I think season 3, if anything, we're going to just see more like turmoil, but that's just my prediction.
we'll see. Yeah, that's where more of like Lori and like the
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like we can't, they're not just, Euphoria is detailed.
It's like they're not going to kidnap
They're not gonna
Rue
drop
out of her
that.
suburban home. But next season, if Rue's cut loose and living on the streets,
Yes.
like she could really easily get wrapped up in that.
And
shit.
Sam's not the type to just leave plot lines behind. Like we're gonna get like something of
Yeah,
that.
right. This bitch wasn't introduced for no reason.
Yep. So scary. But yeah, woof!
right.
What an
Wow.
episode! I need a hero. Ethan
Yeah,
gets
right.
the Tony Award.
Okay. Superlatives. Paige,
All right, let's
give
go.
me your best dressed.
Best dress for me. I'm gonna have to say Lexi just because she like ran the play. I liked her funeral dress, even though it was like sad and depressing. I liked her dress. I liked all of her outfits. I thought
She
her
looked
makeup
great.
was cute. She did played
The
so many
cat skirt-
roles.
The cat skirt was money.
Oh, the cat skirt was amazing. And
Yeah.
when she was like hot in that hot pink dress and she said it smelled like shit behind stage, that was funny. It was cute.
I think technically I have to give it to Lexi, although I appreciate Fez in the suit. Actually, no, I'm just going to give it to Fez, especially because he opted for no tie, which is like the classic David Lynch look, which I also appreciate. And, you know, I
it's
fuck
hot.
with that myself.
And he looked, and you know what?
White shirt buttoned up to the top with a suit coat and no tie is a move.
And you know what, Fesco?
Fez has
You
good
heard it here
taste.
first on That's So Euphoric. You indeed look handsome
Not
to
enough
everyone.
people ditch the tie. Yeah, he looked good. All right, worst dressed.
Oh, you go first. You're like
Cassie.
laughing like you know. Oh, yeah, duh.
I mean, she looked insane.
Awful.
Almost the whole episode.
Awful. Her hair was so scary. I
Cassie,
hated it
like,
all.
doing Maddie is, like, so bad. Like,
The
it
bra,
doesn't work.
the hot pink bra top in the hallway with that skirt.
How
It
the hell
was
is she
just
getting
bad.
away wearing that at high school? I mean, I know it's
It was
Euphoria
funny
High,
when
but
Maddie was
Jesus
like, well,
Christ.
she sure looks the part.
Yeah. All right, Bae.
Lexi. Bae of the episode is Lexi.
Yeah. It has to be. Although Ethan is a close second. He really brought it.
Oh, you're
What a
right.
star.
God, it is split. I think they both I think it's fair to say split, even.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. Okay, what about the good old big purple dirty rat bastard?
Cassie.
Yeah, Cassie.
100%.
Duh. Just the pure disrespect for her relationship with Maddie.
Disrespect. And this is Lexi's big night, and she's once again all focused on her fucking self.
Yep, totally.
Victim.
Disrespect
Tired
for
of
her sister, disrespect for her best friend. Just useless.
I'm tired of it. We all go through a lot, Cassie, but buck up, little camper.
Ditched by Nate at the end, kicked out.
And just that scene was so creepy when she was like, I'll eat whatever you want. I'll say what I was like, all right, I'm out. God. I stand Sydney Sweeney, but I'm not Team Cassie anymore.
No.
I'm not Team Cassie.
All right, what about the class clown?
Class clown. I mean, once again, Lexi. I feel like her play was funny as fuck.
Class clown for me is hands down Ethan, primarily for his portrayal of Mrs. Howard. He's hilarious.
You're right. That was amazing. So good.
Having him play her is perfect and hilarious.
And so well done. What a good idea. Yeah. I wonder what sparked that idea. You know what I mean? Because they could have gotten anyone to do that.
No, it was great. He was perfect.
It was so good.
All right. What about the song?
Oh, mine was, or you go first because I have to pull it up. I forgot the name of it.
So I was about to go with, let me see.
I need a hero. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'll say mine first. Mine was More by Bobby Darin, the song that Cassie and her dad are dancing to, because I thought we didn't go too in depth on that scene, but that scene really was a tearjerker for me.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, like I said, you don't ever get to see her experience of what she went through with her family and how she reacted to that, and it really broke my heart to see a young girl be betrayed by her dad. Her dad literally abandoned, upped, and just left. Yeah. And poor little Lexi, and look at her now putting on this fucking play and slang. So.
Yep. Well, mine was about to be The Word Hurricane by Air, which is from the Virgin Suicide soundtrack, which is amazing. Until the fucking credits hit, and then I was like, I know this song. What is the song playing during the credits? And I couldn't find it anywhere, and I fucking figured it out, and it is the Cannibal Holocaust theme by Riz Ortolani, which is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. It's the grimiest movie to ever be made. It's so grimy that in the 70s, the director had to go to court in Italy to prove that he didn't really kill the actors in the movie because it was so grimy.
Are you serious? Thought they died.
Yeah, it's the first.
You talk about this all the time. I refuse to watch it.
It's the first found footage movie. It's the idea is this crew goes to the Amazon to film cannibal tribes, and everything goes wrong and they get killed by the cannibals and eaten, and it's all found footage.
Ew.
And the effects are incredible. It's from the 70s and it all looks 100%
was it
real.
Did they have a good budget, or is it more that it's so raw and
it's so low budget? They really went to the Amazon and filmed with local tribes in the middle of nowhere, and everyone saw it and thought the actors they thought it was a snuff film, and the actors really were dead because the effects are so good and it's so gnarly.
Wow.
And the score is great. This song's super good.
So why do you think that? So is that the only? But are you saying the song was used in that movie, or is that
the theme? It's the Cannibal Holocaust theme. That's the name of the song.
Wow.
It's the score for the
So
movie.
Do you think Sam's into that shit? I could definitely see him being into it.
He's so into it's obvious that he's way into
I feel like you and Sam having beers would be the best moment ever. I feel like you and Sam have so much in common when it comes to interests, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean I would love to talk to him. He clearly is into really grimy, weird horror movies, which is all I'm into.
Yeah, and he's really just I feel like his personality, from what I know, is very similar to yours. I feel like you guys would get along so well.
Putting the Cannibal Holocaust theme in a major HBO show production about teenagers doing drugs is incredible. Who would do that? That's
love that for you.
He just won me over as a massive fan for life just for that choice alone.
I love that for you.
Amazing.
All right, Euphorians, it is time for Change Our Minds, bitch.
Change Our Minds. Wow, God. Change Our Minds, bitch. Jesus.
I said it right.
No, not you, me.
Alex.
I'm sick, and also, so like, please forgive if I've been a little
I know, poor
a little
Alex.
more slurred or sloppy than
Alex has
usual.
had this like awful cold for like 4 days.
It's
so
not COVID, thank God.
no, it's not COVID, but he's been really sick. He's sick, but he's here still drinking and doing this podcast. So
still drinking. So please excuse if this has been a little.
I mean, you have to drink for Lexi's play. We have to.
I mean, we were a little amped for the play too.
So the first one that's up, a fan wrote in, "Love the pod. You guys are great."
Thank you.
That's way too nice.
Horrible.
Disclaimer: this is not my theory. I saw it on TikTok, but I felt like I needed to share it. So we know that Nate is 18 and he's the oldest sibling. Or no. Fuck. So we know Nate is 18 and the oldest sibling is 25. That is a 7-ish year difference, allegedly. So the missing brother is most likely the middle child and Nate is the baby. Could all be bullshit, but thought it was still interesting. Stay euphoric.
Yeah.
Love this like email that you sent, by the way. So thank you. We think you're great. Also, this is a very interesting write-in.
Not only do we think you're great, I also think you're right. And I feel stupid a little bit for never having like looked more into this. But here's the background. Like, they show the Jacobs family portrait, and there is a child, the middle child, who looks very, very much like Nate.
Well, not just like Nate. I said this too. Looks like the kid actor that plays Nate in the show in season 1.
I don't know whether it is or is not the exact same person, but it looks very much like the actor.
I guess if you really wanted to do your research and go that deep, like a fucking loser, you could figure that out.
However,
but
this
we
person makes an incredibly good point, which is that, yes, we know for a fact that Nate's older brother, Aaron, is at least 24 or 25, and Nate is 18. So that's a 6 to 7 year age difference. And when you look at that family portrait, the person we always thought was Nate and the oldest brother are not 6 to 7 years apart. And most, they're like 4, maybe
3.
They look very similar in age. If I had to guess, I'd say 2 or 3. And
that's interesting. That changes a lot of our theories.
I don't know that it changes my theory about a killing. I mean, it does seem weird that the youngest brother would kill a brother significantly older than him. So I guess it kind of throws that into a fucking loop a little bit. But
a lot of
I do think that this person, assuming that the the production department planned everything and executed everything.
I'm sorry,
right.
But they did. Sam so far has proven
yeah,
I'm sorry, but other than this one photo that we joke about with a little brother, there is nothing in Euphoria that's fallen through the cracks.
Well, I think the photo must be right as well, because they made a point to have Cal take it with him in this season. So there's no way the portrait could be wrong. So
not only is it not wrong, Sam's taken it into thought that this has to be a storyline. Right. So even if they didn't plan on it being a storyline, there's been so much talk about it that during COVID, Sam was I have to write in some sort of storyline.
So all I can think is that this person's right. I think Nate is not the middle child. I think he's the youngest child. I don't think he killed his brother. I think maybe the middle brother was abused like Nate was and killed himself due to Cal's abuse.
It's crazy that we're having to even contemplate Cal being an abuser to his kids. That's crazy. I mean,
it doesn't seem like
it's not unbelievable, but it doesn't
seem like he abused Aaron, because he seems so fine and dandy with everything. But maybe he abused the middle kid, and the middle kid killed himself. And
there's a lot. But
this theory throws a lot of
appreciate
things
this person writing this in.
I think all I can assume based on the evidence presented is
this is why we do change our mind, bitch, because I want to be thrown off. I want to be fuck.
And I haven't really seen many other people call this out, so I don't feel like this is super widely known. I feel like everyone just assumes Nate's the middle child.
Agreed. And it's never said. It's not factual.
Great call out.
All right, our next one.
Good eye.
Our next change our mind. Oh, well, this fan opens with, "This is not a change our mind, bitch. But I believe that 2 episodes ago, you guys were talking about Angus Cloud's live tweeting of the Runaway Rue episode. You read one that I think went right over your head, and it made me laugh so hard when I initially read it. He said something like, 'My mama would have smacked the orange out of me.' And Paige said, 'What the hell is that even supposed to mean?' Which I did say that.
Yeah, I didn't understand either.
No, so Alex and I, in other words, last episode, we did not understand the joke. So this fan wrote in, he was talking about his gingerness, his orange hair. I was dying, just wanted to share so that you could enjoy the joke as well. I am enjoying the joke. I did not know that the smacking the orange out of me tweet had to do with Angus being a ginger.
Yeah, good call. I don't really.
Also,
think
I
of
often
him as
forget
a-
that Angus is a ginger.
Yeah,
I forget.
I don't think of him that way, but he obviously is.
His
So,
head's
yeah,
always
they're
shaved,
right.
so we don't
Like,
think of it that way.
Right, they're
But
totally
he's
right.
a ginger.
Great call. I would never have I didn't really think about it, but yeah, you're right.
Like a funny, silly
don't
change your
think of
mind,
him
but
like
like you
that.
did change our mind because we did literally were so stupid we didn't know the joke.
No,
We were like,
yeah, totally.
we were thinking it was a prison suit or something. We were laughing. We were like, what does it mean?
I didn't know what that meant.
Well, thank
I
you
thought
for.
maybe he was Dutch, and it was like a.
You
a
didn't change our
Netherlands
mind.
joke.
You educated our minds.
We've opened our minds.
You educated, yeah.
To the fact that the Angus is secretly a ginger.
Okay, so well, it's not a secret. He is a ginger. Okay, next one. So this one also isn't really like a change our mind, but it's interesting enough that Alex and I were like, wow, this is complex, and this person really like put a lot of thought into this response. And so I just wanted to read it because I think it's worth reading on the pod. What do you think, Alex? Anything else you want to say before I read it?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so this season's theme, I believe, is giving each character what they think they desperately want, which ultimately represents their deepest flaw. So then she goes to list examples, or this person does. Rue finally gets jewels and drugs. Her flaw is addiction. Cassie gets male validation from the most popular guy in school. Daddy issues. Lexi finally gets to be the protagonist of her own story. She never takes action. Kat begins a relationship with Ethan and finds love. Self-esteem issues. Nate gets to forget about his dad since he left, and Maddie gets to cosplay as a rich girl boss in a massive mansion. Her flaw is passiveness. Now that everyone has what they want, they realize that it's a shit show. Drugs are obviously bad and destroy all relationships. Being loved by Nate is the equivalent of getting run over by a car and the driver spitting on you. The play is going to cause
True.
massive drama directed at Lexi, which she's not used to handle, so we'll see how she handles that, which I guess we will see in next episode.
Mm-hmm.
And the rich lady, this is where the change her mind starts. Maddie works for, I believe is going to turn out to be super fucked up. It goes on from there, but I want to just like end it there because it's a really long response, which thank you. I appreciate once again, like all the thought and, you know, like the time you took to respond to us. So I really appreciate it. But for time's sake, I'm not going to read it all. But that being said, Alex and I both agreed, although this wasn't like necessarily changing our minds, this was like a good overview of season 2, which is great for like the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I thought that was definitely insightful. I think it.
Oh, Meatball thought so too. The third co-host agrees.
Chiming in. No, I think that's actually very insightful. I think, especially for the characters mentioned there, it really does apply. And I think it kind of goes in line with another theme that we've brought up throughout the season, which is that like a lot of characters this season are really like reaping what they sowed, getting their comeuppance. Yes. Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. What does Rue want? She wants to do drugs and have jewels. She gets it. It turns out horrible.
Yep. Cassie was the daddy issues. The like.
Yeah.
She wants love. She gets Nate. Like.
Yeah, and it all turns out horrible. She alienates everyone in her life and loses Nate.
Lexi's was. She said it was like the play. Let me bring it up again.
Yeah, I think Lexi is still a TBD. Lexi definitely. I agree that Lexi.
She said Lexi finally gets to be the protagonist in her own story, but she never takes action.
Yes, agree. And I think the only TBD there is we'll see if it works out good or bad for her. Maybe I think this might work out.
I hope so.
For Lexi,
but we don't know yet. And also, to be fair, when this fan wrote
yet.
in, she hadn't seen episode 7, so
right.
She was on the right track. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is I think it's a really great point about what like kind of the over.
She also said Kat begins a relationship with Ethan,
are.
finds quote unquote love, self-esteem.
Yeah, right. Ditches Ethan.
Maddie cosplays a rich girl boss in a massive mansion. I love that.
Yeah, the only thing I think about that one is I feel like everyone is really read into this the woman that she works for as being like this weird shadowy character, and I think it's almost just
okay, but I'll
more
agree.
simple than it is. I think it's like really I don't really think there's anything super weird going on.
I don't
with
either.
This lady, I think it's just kind of.
I also think we learned the camera thing ended up being nothing. All it meant was she gave her a gift of the dress, meaning she saw her on camera.
Like, and
well, they're also rich. Rich people have cameras everywhere. I nannied in Malibu, and trust me, every nanny job I ever had in Malibu, they had a camera in every room. So it's like, that's normal. If you have money, you have cameras. So I don't think there's any like extra layer of story there.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that some people have really latched onto, is that being like some weird dark shadowy thing with this couple. And I think it's kind of just as simple as it looks. I think they're just a rich couple that she worked for, and she got a look at what a life she could have. She could be the like passive woman, trophy wife who kind of gets everything she like wants on the surface.
And guess what? That pool scene was important, because now we've got more depth into Maddie. And when that woman revealed, like, oh, I fucked over my friend a bunch in high school, but I'm better now. Right. I think Maddie kind of like was turned off by it. I think if anything, she was like, oh, you did? Like, she was kind of like, I was looking up to, and now like I'm kind of like, what?
Right. I think she's kind of had to reevaluate like what she wants and believes.
Yes.
And so I think that was kind of the purpose of that relationship, and that it doesn't necessarily extend further beyond that. Well, there's still one episode left, so maybe some creepy weird shit's gonna happen, and I'll look like an idiot with egg on my face. But right now, I think that was just kind of more surface level than everyone
I agree.
It served that purpose for her character, and not some weird, like, dark, twisty thing.
Totally. And not to, like, we don't need to go on and on about this, but I will say Minka Kelly, who plays the woman, she was only slotted to be in one episode. Sam continued her to be in a couple more. Mm-hmm. So if I were to say anything in terms of, like, will this be a thing? I mean, I'm like you. I do not think so. But if I were to think so, that would be the only reason why. Because why is she in like more than she needed to be in? Maybe it was to tell a bigger story. Right. But we don't know yet.
But anyways, at large, I think that's a great insight. I think that's a very valid and
well-articulated
theme of the season.
And it showed in the play. Like I said, this was written in before this episode dropped. So, wow. Like that... we had to read that because that kind of just showed what we saw on stage.
Yeah, great call. And it's a good, I think that's also a great use of that, like, theme on Sam's part. It's always interesting to give characters what they want and see what happens. And that always
see how they, like, where they take
storytelling. Like, all these people are always driven by these motivations. What happens if everyone gets what they want?
Yes.
Most people don't turn out to be as happy as they think they will be. And that's what happened here.
Wow. Well... I mean, amazing episode. I will cheers to Lexi Howard yet again, because this play was just so good. She did such a good job. Our life should be... First of all, our life blows Oklahoma out of the fucking waters.
Fuck Oklahoma.
Fuck Oklahoma. Cheers to that.
All right.
Cheers to Ethan being a hero.
Yep.
I will not cheers to Cassie.
Fucking Kathy.
We might as well call her Kathy. God, at this point.
Yeah.
Such a mess. No cheers to her. Season finale is coming up. Euphorians. Oh my fucking God.
All right.
All I will say though is, yes, we have a finale coming up, big and exciting, but we might have more coming after the finale. So stay tuned. Keep listening. And thank you so much for your thoughtful responses. We just love it. We love that you all are as passionate as we are about the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And also thank you for all the love and the reviews. I know we brought up like a salty one earlier, but we've also had people say like incredibly flattering things about us that are
it's just
completely
insane.
Undeserved by just
so undeserved
us idiots in our apartment, but they are insanely flattering nonetheless and hugely appreciated. So
yeah, appreciate it, because just like everybody else, we're just getting drunk and having fun talking about the show. This isn't like serious, it's just for fun, you know. Yeah. So all right, cheers to that.
You know what we say,
that's so euphoric.
And see you next Tuesday.
Like today's episode? Great, we love that for you. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, leave us a podcast review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever the fuck you listen to us weekly. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at @so_euphoric for all the euphoria updates you could ever possibly want in your life. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out, bitches.